In section 7, we're going to start talking about Drupal blocks, and we're going to go ahead and create the block that's going to contain our Facebook feed links to the actual Facebook posts and the nodes on the site that we've imported. So just a little background on how blocks work. If you go up to Structure and then click on Blocks, you'll see that Drupal ships with some core blocks that are enabled by default. And then if you scroll down on the block administration page, you'll see that there's a bunch of disabled blocks that also come with the core Drupal. And you can go ahead and enable these in a specific region of the site. Regions are theme specific in Drupal. So you'll recall that currently we have the Bartik theme and the 7 theme enabled on our site. Bartik is the one we're using as our core theme and 7 as our administrative theme. Each of these themes contains blocks in different ways. Each theme has specific regions. So right now I'm showing the regions for the Bartik theme, and you'll notice that there's a bunch of different regions that you can place these blocks in. So the search form is showing currently in the first sidebar. Navigation is in sidebar first, and the user login is in sidebar first. And if we go to the home page of the site, you'll see that indeed the navigation block here is set in the first sidebar. However, if you go to the 7 tab, you'll see that there are different regions in the 7 administrative theme. It's a good thing to just be aware of. If you change themes, your blocks won't necessarily translate automatically in the new theme. You'll actually have to go in and reset the regions to make sure that your blocks show. So just bear that in mind. What we want to do is we want to create a block on our site, which is going to show the Facebook feed posts that we've imported into our site. And we're going to create this block via our module file that we've written. The first thing we need to do is we have to make Drupal aware of our block. So we have to say, hey Drupal, we've got this block and we want to show this block in a specific region in the theme. So to do that, we're going to write a short bit of code. I have the code over here. It's a block info hook. So function, the name of your module. So the name of our module is FB feed block underscore block underscore info. So this is the hook for the block info function. So we're going to copy this code and we're going to come over to our module file. At the bottom of our module file, we're going to go ahead and drop this hook in. And as you see, this hook defines the block info that shows the block on the main Drupal blocks administrative screen. It's pretty basic code. It opens with the function name, and what it's doing is it's saying, let's make an array for our block variable, and let's throw some info at Drupal. And the info we want to tell Drupal is that we have a title right now for our block called Facebook Post. That's the title that's going to show on the administrative page. We're also telling Drupal not to cache the block. You can cache block content in Drupal via the Drupal performance configuration. By default, we're going to say no cache. In other words, we don't want Drupal to cache the content. This makes a lot of sense actually for our Facebook feed post because we want the block to show any Facebook feed post that has been imported without having to cache that content so that the site visitors will see fresh content every time they visit. And then we're just going to go ahead and close that array and then return the actual block itself to Drupal. So let's save this module file, go back to our site, and at this point let's flush our cache. And once we flush the cache, if we go back to the blocks page, you'll actually now see that our Facebook posts block has been created here. There's no content in this block yet, but the info hook that we wrote will tell Drupal that there is indeed a block called Facebook posts, and we can actually show it in a region. And if we click the configure link, it actually goes to a configuration screen for our block. Drupal provides this base configuration screen. We didn't actually have to write any of this. This all just comes from the core Drupal block module. So by just putting in that simple hook block info, we were able to generate all of this administrative screen information for our block. Additionally, if we go over to our table in the database for block, and we look at the last page in this database table, you'll notice that there are 2 entries for the FB feed block. 70 and 71, they get a block ID, which is a unique identifier. And there's 2 because, remember, we have 1 version for the Bartik theme and 1 version for the 7 theme. So you'll notice that also by declaring the info about the block, it's added 2 rows about the block to our block table in the Drupal database. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and start writing the view for our block, which is going to show the actual content that we want to show to our site visitors, the Facebook feed posts.